What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, look, let me drop something on you guys. You know, I saw the Floyd Schofield fight, and I heard different opinions about it. I, listened to different people's take on the fight, and my take, without anybody's influence, is this: Floyd Schofield dominated that fight. He did his thing. He got dropped in the 11th round, and to say that I'd keep him away from Tank Davis or he's not ready, okay, he's probably not ready for Tank Davis. But then again, there's a whole lot of people at 135 that's probably not ready for Tank Davis. But at the same time, everything is going backwards, and I feel like people they're not even paying attention to what's happening right now. Okay. For example, isn't it crazy how the biggest fight at 135 would be Tank Davis and Lomachenko? But at the same time, Lomachenko stepped away, and at his age now, for him to come back, what quality fight does he want? What sense does it make to turn down a fight with Tank, to walk away from boxing, right? To take a break, to be with your family, and then come back and have a tune-up? What sense does that make? You know, so at the end of the day, if he's not going to take the fight now, which he's not, he probably never will take the fight. I don't think he will. In fact, Lomachenko might just walk away. The same way if Crawford's not going to get Canelo. Okay, and unless Crawford just decides his intentions is just to try to become undisputed at 154, he's not going to get Canelo. So, what are you still fighting for? To prove what? I mean, at some point, this is the thing. When you fight off ego versus when you're fighting and you still have something to prove. Everybody has their eye on something a certain way. Off camera, people will admit, I shouldn't have took that fight, or I wasn't ready for that fight, I didn't prepare enough, or whatever it may be, things that they won't say on camera. But you look at that, Lomachenko, pretty much that's the fight. Him versus Tank, and he didn't take it. So who the hell else do you really care to see Lomachenko fight? And bottom line, you got a guy like Jerron Boots Ennis who wants to fight Crawford, who wants to fight these guys. Oh man, he need to sit his ass down, he ain't ready. Okay, first y'all complain that it's hard to get certain guys to fight each other. Then y'all complain this guy's not ready, he need to sit his ass down. So we need to have a rule now. You have to be between 30 and 33 years old before you're ready for a title shot in this day and time. Because at the end of the day, that's all I hear is a bunch of, I don't even listen to the fight fans in terms of influence. I don't listen to nobody as far as influence. I look at what the truth is. But I'm saying as far as looking for hey man, the fans have spoken and this is what they want. I don't even pay attention to this shit because all I hear is a bunch of, I'm a fan of this guy, I'm a fanboy for this person, I'm a simpleton for that person, and basically that's pretty much all you hear. So when these people speak, they're not even being genuine. So my thing is this, look at Keyshawn Davis, for example, who wants to fight Lemos, right? And that's the fight that he has. He said that, basically the promotional company that he's with was trying to give him a fucking easy fight. He's like, nah, I don't want no easy fight. So when you look and say, well, Dan, you got these young, hungry lions that's out here trying to get the fights, and you got, oh, he ain't ready, that's all I ever hear. So here's the thing. No, it's not. It can be damaging if you move a fighter too fast and they take a really bad beating from someone. They just wasn't skillful enough. They really truly wasn't ready. But when can you really say that? When can you really say that? Now, when someone once you step up and start taking top contenders, there's no going backwards. What's the purpose of fighting the number seven contender? Then your next fight is with number 14. The next fight is with number 20. You've broken into the top 10. Why are you going backwards? Now, if it's stay busy fights because you can't get the fights you want, I can understand that. But this is also too wear and tear on the body that, hey, this is the sport you chose, right? But also being away from the ring, it prevents you from getting as sharp as you need with the experience of being in the ring. This is why when I hear people talk, I ask, what the hell do y'all actually want, man? Like, damn, you got guys that want fights, and then y'all claim they're not ready. And then when they pull off the win, oh, it was an upset. Oh, it was this, it was that. Okay, let's look at, for example, people thought that Joe Joyce wasn't shit. He's too slow. He's too easy to hit, right? Okay, but then he destroyed Joseph Parker, and it was like, oh shit. People were shocked. But then Joe Joyce became a force to be reckoned with, and people was like, man, I think Joyce should beat all of them dudes. Joyce's, you can't hurt this dude, and this and that. And all of a sudden, look at what happened when he fought Zhang. People thought Zhang was a farce. They thought Zhang was just, he just caught him had a bad night. Nah, Zhang can't beat this dude. Zhang was getting tired. Yo, if they'd had one more of everything, Zhang had the same amount of time, the same 3 minutes, the same amount of rounds as Joe Joyce had. They act like Zhang had some goddamn advantage, and Zhang is older than Joyce too, right? So at the same time, what happens? The rematch comes. I expect Joyce to be, on top of his game tonight. I think last time he just had a bad night, and Zhang just caught him at the right time. What happens? He destroyed him worse in the rematch. Okay, you take a guy like Wilfredo Benitez, who was champion at 17 years old. I mean, so what I'm saying, you look at guys' ages, and we'll say like even like this guy Shushu. Shushu's a good fighter, but if you ask anybody that really understands boxing, even though he has the age, experience-wise, you can still see he needs some sharpness. But as soon as you look good in the fight, and people start comparing you and saying, oh, I want to see this guy versus this guy, you don't know who's going to win until they get in there. Milton McCrory versus, what's my man name? Back in the day. This was like, people were saying this is going to be like Hearns versus Sugar Ray. And it didn't turn out that way. But, McCrory got knocked out, I think, the third round. Donald Curry. Milton McCrory and Donald Curry. You don't know what's going to happen. Hearns knocked out Roberto Duran in 2 fucking rounds. You understand what I'm saying? We can't keep going by that. Chris Colbert was looking sharp, and people wanted to see what happens when he steps up. And this is my thing. When a guy steps up, oh, he was exposed. Yes and no. Every time someone loses, it's not, oh, they were exposed. It's called being in a fucking fight. Like Schofield was in a fight. He won the fucking fight, basically dominated the fight, but he pretty much got dropped. Oh, I'll keep him away from... So wait, you keep him away from Tank. You mean to tell me it took that fight for you to say that? You didn't think beforehand, nah, he's still not ready for Tank yet? I think Schofield's a good fighter. You don't know what might fucking happen in that ring, man. It's like, when I tell you, and here's the crazy part. When I tell you guys, I don't give a fuck how you feel about the little belly dancer Tank Davis. Tank Davis knows what he's doing in that fucking ring. And he knows how to read his opponents. He understands the physicality. He understands this shit. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. He understands what's going on. And he knows what he's supposed to do in there. And that's why I said, I remember responding to somebody saying, I just don't understand it. Like, how the fuck does he do this shit? At first, I thought it might have been luck the first time or two, but then it's like he does this over and over. And I said, luck has nothing to do with it, man. I said, Tank knows what he's doing in that ring. He understands the physicality. So even if somebody might be outboxing him for a little bit, or you might think like, oh, Tank falling behind on rounds, like he can't figure them out. And he's already studying and breaking them down. And all of a sudden, you notice how the match is going, it's a boxing match, right? It's a chess match. And as soon as Tank start turning that pressure up and start putting that power on, all of a sudden, the whole fight changes. Now, you think that that's just a coincidence? Nah, no coincidence. Now, bottom line is, Tank is battle-tested. Lamont Roach is a champion. But now we've gotten to the point of, it don't matter if you're a champion or not, right? We'd rather see you fight somebody who just blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter if they're cheaters, if they're liars. It doesn't matter if they're not clean fighters. It doesn't make a difference. It's like boxing it's not even, you shouldn't even call it boxing anymore. You should just call it entertainment and bullshit. This is where we've gotten. So, like, what the fuck do y'all want to see, man? Goddamn. Stop hating on these fighters that's trying to get in there and win. Then you got people like racist ass Teofimo who's turning fights down with Brian Norman, and turned down a Haney fight And then keeps talking shit about Terrence Crawford's resume. Oh, all the people he beat was washed up when he beat him. Terrence Crawford ain't impressive to me. He's this, he's that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever, man. Right, so his little irrelevant ass have to, be on some racist shit to get attention. But y'all rather entertain stupid shit like that. This is what I'm talking about. I would rather see, it's just like when racist Ryan Garcia got dropped by, what's my man name that dropped him and he won the fight. But bottom line, y'all said, but Ryan showed hard. He got up and he came back and he won the fight and blah, blah, blah. It was a fight, right. But it's just certain fighters don't get that from y'all. Being in a fight, see, you guys like to, sit here and imagine the way a fight's going to go. Like it's a movie script. I don't give a fuck how many times you watch Into the Dragon, right? You want to see the same shit every single day. It's a movie. Boxing is not scripted. It's not a movie. You go in that ring, right? And in your mind, you guys try to predetermine who's going to win it, how the fight's going to go. And basically, when you go in there and get in that ring, that's when we know how the fight's going to go. We can all imagine some shit, and it might turn out to play out the way we think it's going to play out. But what I'm saying is, a lot of time, most of the time, people sit here and you write fighters off because you think they don't have a chance. Let me explain something to y'all, and I'm not going to go into the details of it. Okay, I'm not going to go into the details of it. But for example, when Donald Trump, all right, pay attention. When Donald Trump was when he had his Secret Servicemen escort him to his prison cell, his jail cell / hotel suite, eating his lobster and shrimp, just to leave a couple hours later. Okay. People was talking about, they got his ass. They got 22 felony accounts on this guy. Right? I said, okay, the cops didn't come for him. He was escorted by his Secret Servicemen who didn't leave. They stayed. See, people don't understand how shit goes. I said, if Donald Trump, and then 2 days after he got out, this dude was making commercials, campaigning on running for president. I said, nah, he's not going to jail. Nah, they got 22 felony accounts. I said, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I said, bro, use your common fucking sense. If Trump was going to do jail time, they would not have let his ass out. Do you understand? 22 felony accounts. Y'all not understanding you still don't understand what America is. Do you? Y'all still don't get it. I said, I tell you what. Hopefully, I would rather see justice be served. He's a rotten, crummy dude. I said, but you know what? Look at what I'm telling you. Look at what's happening. All I'm doing is looking at the shit that's going on. I'm not sitting up here meditating or doing nothing, drawing some super natural power from somewhere. The dude is not going to go to jail. Do not be shocked if he becomes president. And in fact, they're going to make a superhero story out this dude. He beat 22 felony counts. And it went more, I think it was 30 altogether, right? Something like that. But at the time, it was 22. I said, this dude, they're going to make a hero out of him. And just like you had scumbags in the past that was rapists, slave-owning, murdering no-good sons of bitches, and basically because they call them the forefathers of our country, who gives a fuck? 50 years from now, the same thing. Little kids will grow up being told that Donald Trump was a fucking hero. Okay? Bottom line is, I said he's not going to go to jail. And don't be shocked if this dude becomes president. And when I saw all the flack that Joe Biden was getting for the horrible job that he was doing, I said, Trump is going to win. He dropped out, and his replacement was Kamala Harris. I said, nah, Trump is going to win. Because the second biggest prejudice in America, okay, against people of color is a woman being in charge, and especially a woman of color. And if you go back in time and look, when Jesse Jackson was running for president, what did his opponent say? Oh, he grew up on the rough streets. He was a part of a gang at one point. He was doing this and that. He's doing criminal activity. All this shit that they, right? If you notice, the whole gang affiliation and running with street guys and all this shit, right? I don't give a fuck if that was 30 years ago. They bring it up like as if it's current, right? When Obama ran, what you call him? Hillary Clinton. She called him a terrorist. McCain called him a terrorist. He's a Muslim. He this and it. And I'm like, wow, listen to this shit. Listen to the dirty tactics that they have to use to try to win a fucking campaign. What did fucking Trump say about Kamala Harris? She's not even an American. She's Indian. Oh, okay. So, do you understand? Do you understand everything that a person uses as a tool to win? I don't give a fuck if you don't like it or respect it. The point that I'm telling you, if you pay attention and look at what's happening and understand what this country's about, and I'm saying this shit flat out, I said plain and simple, for Trump to not get in, that means they can't rig the ballots, and that also means that the racist Trump supporters are going to have to understand he's not the solution for this country. Otherwise, Kamala Harris don't have a chance, man. I don't give a fuck what they tell you, and people believe that when you vote, that truly your vote is what counts. They don't really understand there's so much going on. They're not even talking the riots that happened. They're not talking about shit that is stuff that happened that the news is not even talking about. Okay, even like Fox 5 lying. All right, covering up the fact that they knew they were lying about the ballots and all this shit. Did y'all know that they had ballots that were set on fire? So yeah, it's so much shit that was going on, right? But what I'm saying, even leading up to it, even talking to my family, and I'm like, Trump is going to get in. As much as I don't want to see this motherfucker in there, he's going to get in. And I said plain and simple, Biden was a terrible fucking president as well. He was horrible. I said, and this dude, when you look at who they're running against, that's what you also got to understand. And when fucking Kamala Harris stepped up, it was like, she's not going to get in. When you drive from state to state and all you see is Trump Vance signs, Trump Vance, Trump Vance, Trump Vance, Trump, like, well, all the Kamala Harris signs. You wake up, people. Yo, how'd you know that? It's just called common sense. I'm just observing shit. Trump is not going to lose. He's going to get in. And they're going to make a hero story out this dude. Tell me when the fuck I'm lying. This is what I'm talking about with boxing and everything else. People make boxing sound like it's a separate entity, like it's not a part of life. We're all human beings, man. The politics, all of the bullshit. Just like I said, I respect what they're doing over there in Riyadh and all that, right? But at the same time, man, like I said, I don't like this, popular demand shit. Or like example, I was reading a story the other day about Deontay Wilder, and it was talking about his career. Now, the person that wrote the article was saying pretty much Deontay's done. Even if he gets back in the ring, Deontay doesn't have much left in the tank. And if you guys understand, he's recovering from surgeries. Malik Scott made that known. And basically, here's a guy who constantly tells you every time he has this long break and has a fight, he wants to fight 3-4 times a year. And I'm like, that's not happening. They didn't do it when he was younger. He's not going to do it now. But in that article that I read, the guy said, regardless to how many Deontay Wilder fans want to see him rise to the top again, it's just too late for him. Malik Scott said he expects to see a more improved Deontay Wilder. Doesn't he say that shit every single time Deontay Wilder fights? So when people are doing this and hoping and wanting something to happen, you have to use your common sense. Now, can he go on the Atlanta right hand on somebody and get him out of there? Yeah, it could happen. Yeah, and that's all that will matter, is that he landed it, right? Okay. And they can say he won, whether it's for a championship or not, but especially if it's for a championship. And pretty much mission accomplished. But do you really feel comfortable that he's going to, okay, now I'm going to have 3, 4, 5 more fights and I'm just, nope. People will be saying, yo, man, you got the belt, retire now and go out on top. That's exactly what the majority of people will be saying. Because at some point, you have to understand, like, when you look at a fighter and you look at what they've been doing, and where they are right now. Not to mention, the majority of you would say, yo, he need to leave Malik Scott alone. Well, Malik Scott didn't go anywhere, did he? He's right there. And once again, you guys think he's just going to all of a sudden be a better fighter. People ask me about Anthony Joshua. What did I tell you? I got to see AJ again to really, see what's going on, because what he just did 2 fights prior to the Dubois fight, I got to see what's going on. But what did I just tell you in my last video? Because I see AJ make a video talking about he's going into real estate, he's stepping away from boxing. I told you, I don't believe AJ has the desire and the passion. I don't think that he has that. He can't have it. He can't. Okay? Because if that would be the case, I got to get back in this ring. And then I'll still do the real estate thing. The real estate has nothing to do with his popularity. Business is business. You got the bank account to back up what you need. Okay, you're good. So that has nothing to do with it. And at some point, these things happen to people. Now, how you start using your imagination and how you start trying to curve things to make yourself feel better about a decision, I'll give you another example. I watched people get on their knees and was praying. People coming on churches praying that Trump don't win. Don't let the devil win, God. This and this and this and this. This and that. They were all praying that Trump don't win. Once again, the devil's won, didn't he? Now they go from talking about God won't always let the devil win. God can do all things. God this, God that. Now you know what they're saying? God's in control. God's always in control. We just have to remember. Yeah, okay, right. Y'all wouldn't be saying that shit. Well, if he won, y'all still be saying the same thing. It's just the simple fact that now you're trying to make yourself feel better because y'all did all this praying. And guess what? Trump won. So, for the people that prayed that Trump get in, who did God listen to? Huh? Yeah. All right, then. My point. Now, you try to make yourself feel better about your decision. Well, and this is all real life comparisons, the same shit. You have a fighter that you believe in. You talk good about this fighter. You want to build him up. He's this, he's that. Yo, I believe he's going to do. And then when he don't win, well, man, he was old. Man, you know what? He should just retire now. If they'd have fought 3 years ago, he'd have won. And all of this shit that means nothing. I guarantee you, when you look on somebody's win-loss record, next to that fucking loss, it don't say if they'd have fought 3 years ago, he'd have won. All it says is the motherfucker got knocked out. Or, you understand what I mean? Simple. He lost. So, I look at boxing, I look at everything for what it is. Guys like Floyd Schofield, Keyshawn Davis, you want to see these guys. Jerron Ennis, these guys, you want to see them hungry and want these big fights. Because I'm telling you right now, when those guys get in a position, if and when they get in a position where they are the cash cow or one of the cash cows, they're amongst the elite guys, and they can, call shots too, they're going to all do the same shit. They're going to get tired of fucking putting their body through all that those grueling workouts just to have a bullshit junk fight. The business has changed of boxing. Yeah, a lot of the same elements are there, but it's a lot of different shit as well. Okay? And you got to understand, when business change, the fighters are going to change as well. Just like you heard Alicia Baumgartner in another video, another interview she just did. She was on Sean Porter's show. And what did she say? They were talking about the fights not being 3 minutes. And she said, once again, if you're going to fight for 3 minutes, then are you going to pay me for 3 minutes? Listen to my point, too. I actually agree with what she's saying in that sense. Meaning, okay, if they're going to fight 3 minutes around, you should pay them more. Yes. But in terms of her fighting Amanda Serrano, if she's going to say she's not going to fight Amanda Serrano for 12 rounds and for 3 minutes around, then unless they up the pay, then she can't claim she wants the smoke. Why? Because whatever they're paying Amanda Serrano is not based on 3 minutes. It's just based on what they feel she's worth. You understand what I mean? And the same with Alicia Baumgartner. So if you're saying 3 minutes around, you should be paid more, that y'all should, women in general should be paid more for fighting for 3 minutes instead of 2 minutes. I agree. But you can't come here talking about you want the smoke, but then your opponent is willing to fight for 3 minutes a round for 12 rounds, and you're not. You see, this is what I tell you guys. It wasn't just a Floyd thing. Sugar Ray, Ali, there's always fighters they were the top guy and they called the shots. It's just that, when people are a part of an era, they complain about it. Show me one fighter that if any management team, any sanctioning body, anybody came to them and said, hey, man, listen, we're going to let you control your career. You fight who you want to fight, when you want to fight, how you want to fight. Show me one fucking fighter that would say, nah, that's okay. We know that's bullshit. When you got motherfuckers taking that bullshit, what's that belt, that invisible belt, where you could jump up and down and wait. If you'll accept that, you'd be stupid to not be able to take control of your own career and you make the type of money you want, whatever. You'd be stupid to not take it. Now, here's the problem. When people can't do it, it's like when you, for example, in Manny Pacquiao's mind, he was as big of a star as Floyd. Floyd undefeated. Manny Pacquiao had 3 losses already. He's talking about 50-50. Okay? Deontay thought he was as big a star as Anthony Joshua. He's talking 50-50. Bernard Hopkins thought he was as big a star as Roy Jones. He's talking 50-50. You see, so fights don't happen a lot of times because a person is like, nah, you're not worth what you're asking for. Okay? Then you have situations where a fight happens like in Manny Pacquiao's situation. He was trying to fucking play chicken. Like, fuck it, I'm not going to move if Floyd don't move because I'm just as big as him. Then he got knocked out by Marquez. Then all of a sudden, Floyd, yes, I can fight, I can beat him easily. Floyd. Now all of a sudden, he couldn't stop saying Floyd. And then the fight finally happened. Now you got to take what he offers you because now you just got knocked the fuck out. Okay? Now that's your 4th loss. With Bernard and Roy said he ain't giving him no 50-50. And he said, what the fuck I got to give him 50-50 for? I beat him. He's right. And no, Bernard Hopkins wasn't as big a star as Roy. No. And he's right. Fuck, I got to split 50-50 with a motherfucker that I beat already. Which is also another reason why I say Roy be showing hate towards Floyd, because Roy was in that situation. It's funny how in his case it was facts, but in Floyd's case, just fight anyway. Nah, you didn't fight Bernard in the rematch because it don't matter if Pacquiao and Floyd never fought before. The fact of the matter is Floyd was undefeated still. And then when Pacquiao got knocked out, now he wanted to fight. Now, think about when Deontay Wilder got knocked out by fucking Zane. And he talking about, when he got beat by Parker. I'm still thinking we fighting. How? When AJ went out there and beat Wallin and you went out there and got beat up by Parker? How the fuck you thought y'all was still fighting when Turkey already told you both, I need both of you to win for this fight to make sense and for it to go on? $50 million a piece. And you lost, but you still think the fight's supposed to still happen. And this is what I'm saying. Now, look at Brian Norman's situation. I think Bazzi said they sent him, flat out said they sent him, they offered him $750,000. Then he was saying, look, man, I got to pay this person, that person, whatever. And then it went up to $1.5 million. He turned that down. Then they offered him 1.7. He turned that down. Yet, they say Brian Norman's last paycheck from his last fight was $100,000. Now you do the math. You just made $100,000. These motherfuckers just offered you $750,000. That's far more than what you would pocket after you pay everybody. They went from $750,000 to $1.5 million to $1.7 million, and he still turned it down. So, if Boots Ennis say Brian Norman don't want that smoke, what, y'all that stupid that you hate him so much because he want to fight Crawford? I mean, I don't understand this sissy shit y'all be on, but you gonna sit here and hate on him because he want to fight Crawford and make an excuse? Nah, Brian Norman didn't want that fucking fight, and it's obvious. And if you're gonna think that he's worth more than that, No, he's not. Lamont Roach. Imagine him saying, nah, fuck that, I want more. No, he's a good fighter. He's not well known, though. He's not the fucking A-side at all fighting against Tank Davis. So even though he has the belt, who's the star? When Sugar Ray Leonard fought Marvin Hagler was, I think, rated the #1 fighter in the world. Or yeah, I think he was pound for pound rated #1 fighter in the world. But who was the real star? Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray. So there's always certain things that happen. So when people hate on Floyd, talking about Floyd, oh man, when he took over his own career, that's when boxing got fucked. Nah, boxing didn't get fucked up because of Floyd. Boxing was fucked up because of boxing. Floyd worked his ass off to get to where the fuck he is. You have to still say he is, right? Because right now, he can go do a motherfucking exhibition and still make far more money than these, undisputed champions. And he's doing this in exhibitions. So yeah, he had to take his shorts and low money and all that type of stuff. And finally, look, if these fighters could do what Floyd is doing, if they had that business savvy and understood, they would. It's just a lot of envy when, damn, this motherfucker's doing this and that, and I can't. I mean, wasn't it Manny Pacquiao who said Floyd is tarnishing his legacy? Yeah, I know De La Hoya bitch ass said it too, but by doing exhibitions. And all of a sudden, what was Manny Pacquiao doing? Exhibitions, but looking bad. The first one I seen in him, he did his thing, but the second, third one, or whatever, he didn't look so good. And he's younger than Floyd. Yeah, he didn't look so good. So it's like, how is he tarnishing his legacy and you're not, by doing the same thing? So anytime you look at these guys and they get to the point, just like for people to say, oh, Floyd was handpicking. What the fuck do you think Canelo's doing when he sit here and say that I fight whoever I want, I do what I want? And then he fight guys like Jaime Munguia instead of Benavidez. He fight guys like Edgar Berlanga. Two guys who, Edgar Berlanga for sure, I called he was going to wind up fighting him. He's not going to fight Benavidez or David Morrell. Can't nobody say he can't fight him because they're at 175. No, he don't want to fight them. He don't want to fight either one of them. And basically, what you think Terrence Crawford is telling you when he says, I'm at the point I can do whatever I want. Okay, bottom line. Y'all are doing the same thing, but it's funny. They only call it on Floyd. They don't call it on Crawford. They don't call it on fucking Canelo or anybody else for that matter. They ain't call it on Tyson Fury. But no, it's okay. And when you look at the way boxing is right now anyway, what real change do you see? So yeah, we know when Turkey puts a card together, or when Matchroom was already putting good cards together. It's going to take Turkey to be involved for us to get a good card or a decent card over here in the States. Now, I still haven't read up on Al Heyman's situation. I saw a thumbnail, and somebody on one of my videos, they did leave a comment asking me, what do I think about Al Heyman retiring from boxing? That it's a rumor. I haven't heard much about it, and it's not really something that if he's, look, his potency with fighters in terms of how he was helping people as far as being known to the public, we haven't heard anybody really talk too much about Al Heyman in a long time, other than Floyd Mayweather, Tank Davis, like that, money team, people from the money team. If what you're doing is no longer effective, if you are a part of a card where you have a main event where the rest of the card is weak and nobody cares about the rest of the card, just saying, things are happening. Things always change, man. Everybody had their day where, they were one of the top promoters. Somebody was one of the top fighters. Somebody was one of the top trainers. You had a top referee. You had top judges. Always, it's going to be changed. Different people come and go. But I just don't understand how it's like people don't even know what they want anymore. They just talk, they say things, but they don't even really even understand what they're saying. If you listen to people talk and you hear how they complain about boxing right now, You hear how they complain about this fighter won't fight that fighter, but then as soon as you got fighters saying, I want the smoke, he ain't ready. I mean, I've talked about this before to you guys, and it's like it's just still happening. It's the same things over and over. He ain't ready. He ain't ready. Well, then who the fuck do you want to see fight then? You know, who do you want to see fight? This is what I'm talking about. Then you got the guys who ain't did shit, but they feel like if they talking of shit, they'll talk their way into a title fight. Nah, man, boxing, you know, where we are right now, it's crazy, man. I was watching Netflix the other day. I haven't watched any episodes of, you know, this countdown to Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. I really just find myself not interested in that shit at all. And I'm just sitting here going, you know, here we have a 28, 29-year-old that's getting ready to fight a 59-year-old man that people are trying to make it sound like this is a 21-year-old Mike Tyson, this is a prime Mike Tyson. Like, you know, so if Jake Paul should win this fight and people treat Jake Paul like all of a sudden, you know, he's the new Canelo, he's the new Floyd or whatever because he beat a guy that was far past his prime. Mike Tyson was past his prime for the longest now. Okay, and the last time we saw Mike Tyson in the ring, what was he doing? Going through the motions in that little fixed fight between him and Roy. And people are hyped up because they're trying to make this like this is some super fight. Listen, at the end of the day, y'all, boxing has become a joke. Now, the fact that fighters can still make some money, hey, why not? Because the richest people in the sport are not the ones that take punches in the face. It's not the fighters. The fighters aren't the richest ones. It's the ones cutting their checks. All right? But bottom line, this sport has been watered down. It's been made a mockery of. And like I said, I respect what Turkey is doing over there with boxing. But at the same time, you know, there's always some bullshit going on. There's always some bullshit. Now, I saw a quick video the other day. Now, I haven't heard anything about Shields versus Baumgartner. I know that Shields is right now, she wants to become undisputed at heavyweight. And then if she accomplishes that, then she says she's going down to 154. And she don't care who it is. Bring their ass to 154 and they gonna make it happen. Well, people already running around here making up lies talking about Shields versus Baumgartner is on. And I'm just sitting here like, man, I'm reading and I'm reading the comments. This particular video I watched, it had like 11,000 views at the time and had like 300 and something, over 300 comments. And I'm just reading comment after comment after comment of how brainwashed people are, how they just believe anything. This, oh man, finally, this the fight we all needed. Yeah, Baumgartner. I'm like, guys, y'all believe anything. Look, you know, the bottom line is this. We need less talking and more action. And we need more of these fighters to step up. No, don't wait till you're 30 years old, 33 years old to finally get the confidence to have a title shot. No, make these fights happen. If a guy gets a loss, the Terry Norrises, the Mike McCallums of the world, the Michael Nunn's, guys who went out there was fighting top guys, man. So yeah, you're bound to get losses quicker than, you know, the more popular fighters because you're fighting the guys that they won't fight. You know, so yeah, in closing, man, I'm not gonna say I'm not clowning Schofield. He did his thing, man. He just got dropped. And yeah, I'm not sitting there telling you I think he could beat Tank Davis, but at the same time, man, who do you see at 135 that you really feel confident he'll beat Tank Davis? Just saying. Anyway, talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.